Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Everything Paranormal Show. I'm your host, Josh Morris, and normally joining me right now is Stacy Talich. Stacy, for some reason, we are having some technical difficulties tonight through email servers because he is unable to get my link for some reason. So we're going the long way, and hopefully he'll be able to pop in and join us very shortly. So in the meantime, guys, we're going to have a great show. I've got some things lined up tonight. I want to talk about ghosts and or spirits, however you want to refer to them. Maybe both, I guess, like evil spirits, ghosts, like human spirits, I guess you could say too. But we want to talk about the different ways they can affect your life. Sometimes people don't always realize that they even may be haunted sometimes, or how sometimes spirits can affect you. So here we go. We got Stacy. So let's get him on here. What's
How's it
going on?
going?
Welcome to the show. I just got done filling in everybody, letting them know you were a few minutes behind. We were having some technical difficulties.
Yeah, that hasn't happened in a really long time. Where the mail server,
Yeah.
they emailed me a link where that has gone down, but I went to double check to make sure that my spam bot didn't, throw you in there, and the whole
Right.
thing was down. So,
Well, I'm glad that you're here because I was just telling everybody tonight's show. I wanted to discuss ghosts and or spirits and how they can affect our lives. Many people get affected by spirits and they don't always realize that they're being affected. You know, whether it's headaches or whatever. We can get into all the different things, but I just thought that would be a really great subject to talk about is how spirits and can ghosts really do that? Can ghosts affect us in these many different ways and all that good stuff? So I wanted to definitely dive into that subject. So we're definitely going to dive into that here in a second. Terry Lynn, hey, it's good to see Terry Lynn in the chat. Facebook user, hi. See, that's how it shows up. Hi, Facebook user. See, Terry Lynn with her typo. Hey there, E31. Hi there, E31. Now, she did say everyone. But yes, spirits can affect us in many, many ways. But first, I want to take a moment, a little bit from you guys. I want to show off some little bit of work that we're working on. So Terry Lynn, as you all know, Terry Lynn's my wife. She's been doing a lot of work. Oh, Christina. Hey, Christina. You'll probably like this part, but my wife has been doing a lot of new work here lately, crafting some things and making some resin spirit boards and things like that. So I want to take a moment just to show you guys a few of the ones that we're doing. So one of the first boards I want to show you, now we do different types of themes and colors. And remember, these look so much better in real life. I'm telling you, it's not going to come across on the camera, but here is a pink and white board. Okay. Now, I don't know if you guys will be able to see. Stacy, I'm going to minimize you just for a second over here.
all right,
That way,
there
maybe.
you go.
So I don't know if you guys can see the detail in there, but there's some sparkles in there. There's depth. You know, there's some very nice depth to this, and also if you can see, there's a crystal on here for you as well. And then a lot of times too, in some of the boards that Terry Lynn's been making, she has been including some different types of crystals inside of the layers also. But you can see this one's layered, but they all have a little bit of a layered 3D effect. And check this out. This is the matching planchette.
Yeah.
Look at that. See, it's got the crystal on there. Nice and smooth. Look at that matching. I love that.
It's a crystal ball because when it goes green screen, it looks like it's transparent all the way.
Well, this is a crystal, or I mean,
All
this is resin. This right here is a resin for the glass, kind of like the magnifier.
Okay.
Right? Now this is a crystal on the back end, though, on the back of the planchette here. All right, so that one is the pink one. That's one I really like. I do like that one, but this one here, this is one of Terry Lynn's favorites. Now I hope this comes across here. This has got the gold lettering, and it's really hard to see just the amazing colors. There's some greens in there. I'm trying to see. I know the reflection of. Hold on, let me see if I can. I want to move you guys over here.
It's coming through pretty good.
Huh?
I said it's coming through pretty good.
Yeah, if you can see the different colors in there, some purples, greens, and you can see, of course, there's some more crystals in there. Very nice. I love this board. It's a really good looking board. Complements the gold colors. Really, really nice. Very like an amethyst, like Terry Lynn said, amethyst board. Is she selling these? I need to talk to her. Yes, we will be selling these for sure. We're just, again, guys, we've been amassing kind of a crystal store. We have a ton of like big crystals. I don't know what all we're going to sell on our crystals. We've been amassing a bunch of crystals, but we have been making the boards. Now, hold on. That board you just saw, oh yeah, the board that I just showed you, the amethyst board. Let me show you again. So there's the, okay, and here's the planchette. Look at that. See,
It's cool.
Now she did a lot of detail work, and you can see inside that resin is a amethyst crystal and gold flake in there. It's really, really nice. I'm really proud of that. That she did such a good job. I just really wanted to show off some of these. And then for those of you that might like a little bit of minimal, but I love this also. I love this one as well, because this one is, it's got the, I'm going to describe it first because I don't know how it's going to come across in camera, but it's got the gold writing, and it's got a smoky, like a smoky mist and a little bit of gold flake in there. But that's it. Very minimalistic, but yet at the same time very pretty. Look at this. It's very clear. See the smoke?
Wow.
I don't know if you can see the smoke in there. It's kind of getting a little pixelated, I guess, because of the green screen in the back. But you see that smokiness in there? But I love it. I think it's great. I think because it's just this clear, but just to me, it's gorgeous as well. And then, of course, the matching planchette. Very, very nice. I really think Terry Lynn did such a good job on this. Again, really nice stuff. Now, we actually have got like 3 other boards that are those. By the way, those are 9.5 by 14. So if you want to know the dimensions of them, 9.5 by 14, pretty good sized board. And we do have like 3 or 4 more that aren't fully ready, but they're, one of them's like kind of like a bluish, purplish kind of background with some gold or pink type writing. So it's pretty cool. And I know we got some dark ones coming too. And now I want to show you this too. We also have some minis.
Yeah.
So if you like the minis, if you just want to have, something on the desk or wall decoration. Now, I don't have the planchettes right now. I don't have the planchettes ready, or not me, but Terry Lynn. I don't have the planchettes on me. But they're little mini planchettes also that go with this. So you can see here, really gorgeous. Yes, so Christina, yes. Terry Lynn said, Christina, hello. So, yes, absolutely. And then now there is also...
Not to interrupt, but Christina's messaging you on Facebook. Well, she's not messaging, but she's texting. And it's coming up as Facebook user.
Yeah, I know. That's why I said it's Christina.
Christina, you have me on your phone, or if you want to, you can just message me on Facebook. Yeah, Christina loves the boards.
Yeah.
I'm making more right now. I got resin all over my hands.
Right. And yeah, and then here's another one too. If you guys like, if you like having add-ons, You can see here, this is a whole resin crystal piece with holographic image. So you get that extra little sparkle on there.
That one's
So that's
practically a
another one.
throwing star.
Huh?
I said that one's practically a throwing star.
Yeah. But yeah, I like it. I think it's really pretty. So if you guys like, now again, some of you guys, if you like specific colors, oh, you can see here too, it's kind of a pinkish type lettering. So, but if you guys like specific colors, if you're like, I really like an orange type stuff or yellow type stuff, let us know, because we can look at incorporating that that color scheme. And now here's another thing that Tara Lynn's been working on. These are fun little pedestals, and they actually sit on top of LED lights, and the lights go up and they light up all of this, the crystals and stuff like that. So these are cool little things that she did with all these little amethyst stones and quartz.
You might as well show them all. Now you got all.
Yeah, and here's the one I was talking about. This is one of the fourth ones. This one here, I don't have the planchette for it, but this is the one with the pink lettering with kind of like that bluish background. But again, we've got a couple that are on the way right now. They're being worked on. They're not finished, but we got a couple ones that are like a darker background. And I did one of these, and of course I'm a guy, so I did like a thing where I did like a I call it the murder board, because mine it's kind of like a golden brown background, but there's blood. There's like pools of blood, like somebody spilled blood on the Ouija board. It's really cool. I like it so far. I'm gonna make the little mini planchette to have a couple drops of blood, but the drops of blood are under the resin, but above the background layer. It's in between the layers. It's really cool. So it looks like you're kind of looking down at maybe a crime scene or something. But so it's pretty cool. I like that one. I thought that I that's not ready, or else I'd show you that. But anyways, but the little minis and all that stuff. Like I said, all this stuff's going to be available real soon.
What you got to do is get one with the blood, have chicken feathers and some chicken bones inside the resin. That would be cool.
And this, of course, is the wood folding pendulum stands. So if you want to have that single pendulum hanging right here, this is what we've been. I built that. So if you want a place for your pendulums, we're going to have some pendulum displays as well. So I just thought I'd take a minute to share with you guys a little bit of since we've been cranking out some of the, or not, I don't want to say Terry Lynn has really been cranking out a lot of this stuff. So I got to give her a lot of credit. I'll do like little side projects, like when she has leftover resin, I'll do like little extra side projects. I do have a circular one that came out real pretty. I just got to finish the final back layer and a little bit of doming and stuff, but there is some different things. Like I said, and like some of the circular ones too. This one here is kind of a maroon gold type lettering. This was one of our first ones. We're not really selling this one per se, I guess.
That's for a pendulum, right?
No, these are actually, I believe these are actual like type Ouija boards, because there's no, I just moved my thing back over, so now you're getting the glare. But you see how it says like yes, no, you know what I mean? Instead of like if you had the pendulum, if it went back and forth, you would be getting yes, no, yes, no, yes. So I don't think it's for the pendulum. I just think it's a circular, but it seems to be really popular, and a lot of people like these. But this is kind of an example of one that when we first did the very first one, so we're like, yeah, this one's like okay, so we don't, but we have some really pretty ones. So just to show you the other circular style also that we'll have it also. So there you go. There's thought we'd share some of that with you guys.
Very cool.
Back in here. So Yes, very excited for all that. But we are we are gonna be having that real soon. We are looking at selling them. I want to say that like some of the ones that you guys saw with the set, I want to say we're looking at roughly around like 150. We're trying to keep it reasonable, but at the same time, compared to other boards out there and things like that, and how much effort we're putting into them, adding some real crystals in there, stuff like that. We want to try to find that good price point for you guys. So we think that 150 is pretty fair. We've had quite a few people that are already wanted to offer us that. So
Terry Lynn's got skills. I'll give you that.
Yeah, I'm really proud. She's really been doing good on it, and she's been really working on it. And we've had a few failed attempts. Again, to me, this was a failure, but a good failure. It's still not that bad, especially once we did the gold lettering on here. It really kind of all came together like a golden maroon. But there's just little odds and ends that we learned, or she learned from. I say we because I'm always there half the time with her, hanging out with her, and so we kind of learn together. But it's really, like I said, she's really been learning a lot of techniques and what works, what doesn't work, and how to mix certain things, different types of inks and powders and all kinds of stuff. So a lot of work she's been doing. So, and I can't wait to see some of the next couple of boards she's got, because she's got some really darker style boards. And we're not just going to be doing, right now we mostly have what they call like a narwhal design, which is got like kind of like a seashell type thing. You can see there's some real crystals, or you can see there's like the section under the shell is glittery and stuff. But but we've got some other designs too that we will be coming out with that are be a little more darker as well. I think I'm trying to get the one that's got the pentacle in the center, or the pentagram in the center, so to speak. So we got a couple more styles that we'll be coming out with soon enough. So, anyways, we took up like a bunch of the show talking about that, but I just wanted to spend a minute. I really did. So, Terry Lynn, good job, and keep up the good work, because we'll start putting them out there. And I'm not sure. Again, we haven't officially sold any to anybody, but we have people that's kind of like really wanting to do it. So we'll just see, because to be honest with you, it's like when you first make all your first stuff, you're gonna keep one or two things for sure. So we haven't decided which one we want to keep. They're like our kids right now. It's like, which one do you want to keep? But yeah, Terry Lynn, yeah. But yes, thank you, Christine. Yes, I agree. I love all of them. They all have something cool to them. I really do. But I'm excited. So guys, let's get into the subject of ghosts now. Now that we just talked about spirit boards and things like that, guys, let's get into the subject of ghosts and what they can do. Now, I'm going to let Stacy, since he didn't get a lot of chance to talk. This is another one of his specialties. So, Stacy, before we maybe get into some obvious ways, what are some of the ways that that affect people that they may not even realize that they're being affected by spirits?
Well, that's a really, really wide berth on that one. Spirits can affect you in a lot of different ways, but in order to affect you personally in your consciousness, your concentration, your daily routine, anything of that sort, they have to sync up with you on a certain level, because they can't really affect this world very well. They have different mediums in which they can use through transfer. This like water. They can affect water. There's water in the air. There's water pretty much everywhere. They create vapors and mists and things like that in order to create a cloud that gives them what looks like physical form. You also consist of 78% water. So they can affect you by syncing up with you. It's not really what you would call possession, but if you're not paying attention, which most people aren't most of the time, most people have a routine. They go to work. They, they're on the hamster wheel. They're doing their job. They're not really thinking about anything except what's in that exact moment. And even then, when they're driving, most people don't even think about what they're doing when they're driving. Your level of concentration really is what is key, because if you're not concentrating, they can actually get you to do something when you're not paying attention. You're literally not at the wheel. And next thing you know, you're, crossing the center line when you weren't even paying attention, that sort of thing.
Right.
Spirits
So now-
can affect you in a lot of different ways.
So now let's talk a little bit about, because I know that is a very broad sense. So let's start narrowing it down a little bit. And I wanted to kind of talk about maybe one of the reasons is why might spirits affect you in certain ways. Now, I just want to throw out there, and I'm going to let you expand on it.
Okay.
But one thing I know that spirits often will do a variety of things to get your attention. And whether in some things may seem negative, but it doesn't always mean it's a negative spirit, such as scratches and things like that. Because I've had many cases where people get scratched or poked, or I guess in a way almost hurt, but it does not necessarily mean it's a negative spirit, but it may be the only way they know how to communicate and get your attention is through the form of scratching or something to try to get your attention. But I'm going to let you expand on that. So,
yeah, you're dealing with, most of the time, you're dealing with spirits that were of previous generations. Very rarely do you have a spirit that is somebody you went to high school with. Most of the time, it is grandparents, great grandparents, distant relatives, even spirits that were alive in your previous life and still haven't decided to come back, and they're still watching over you, kind of stuff. You don't remember them, you don't know. They were from a previous generation. If you remember, not so recently, or actually quite recently, the whole idea of corporal punishment is traditionally all throughout human history. The idea that we don't do that anymore is relatively new. The idea that you put kids in a timeout, you just sit there and think about what you've done. That's new. Most of the time, the spirits lived in a time where they slapped you upside the head whenever you did something that was stupid. That was just their way of communicating to their children and their loved ones. They poked, they slapped, they were rough. And just like they were alive, they still kind of do that kind of thing.
So you're saying that it doesn't always have to be a strange spirit that might smack you, but it might be that passed on grandparent or parent.
Yeah, they know
or
you've got a really
relative.
thick skull that's just not paying attention to anything when you need to be paying attention to something, and they just slap you upside of the head, and you're like, who just hit me? And there are other times where they're smoking a pipe or smoking a cigar on their side, and all you do is you smell that perfume, you smell that tobacco, and nobody smokes in the house, nobody smokes cigars or pipes, but for some reason you are now smelling it. That is to get your attention, to pay attention to something in particular.
Right.
That the way of communication. But they have to know you, really sync up with you a little bit in order to know what is actually going to get your attention, or else
Now,
you're just,
I'm going to ask some questions, and I'm going to play dumb. I'm going to act like I don't know these answers, but I'm going to just put them out to you. So that way we'll try to go down a little bit of list. So, because people always want to know, like, so can a ghost communicate to me through dreams?
Ghost or spirit, because they can be two different things.
Okay.
A ghost is an inanimate replay of something that took place. It really doesn't have a consciousness of its own. It's just something that is playing out. That, depending on your belief systems and where you at in history, we have a mind, body, soul, and a ghost. And the ghost is more as a spirit to the body, and the spirit is to the mind. It is
Right.
consciousness. So a ghost, unless you're sleeping in the pathway of its pattern of behavior, it really can't affect you in your sleep. If it runs up and down the hallways, once a year on a particular day, and you happen to be sleeping in the hallway, yeah, you might run into it.
All right, so let's exclude residual and let's talk just spirits. I guess
Spirits.
I try to talk in layman terms, man. People don't divide between ghosts and spirits. You're right, but spirits. So let's just say, can a spirit communicate to you through dreams?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, it very easily. A lot of times that's what they do, especially if they're new. They just crossed over because they haven't grasped the whole idea that they're not really there. And you yourself, your thinking mind, your critical thinking mind is completely shut down in the dream state, in the REM, rapid eye movement dream state. So your mind will take in all information during that time period, and spirits can easily whisper in your ear and
Right.
even enter the dream itself.
Now, is there a way, again, and I'm trying to ask these questions for the people. So is there a way that people can distinguish between, like, how can they, like, if they wake up and they're like, man, I just had a crazy dream, or can they say, I think this was more than a dream? Is there any way to possibly tell that difference, or is it just going to have to be up to the person to try to decipher that?
A lot of times it's up to the person, because the person who's communicating, the spirit who's communicating, a lot of times will let you know this is not a dream. This is a real message, because they're telling you something that only you would know, or only someone else that you're told to tell would know. Like,
So
tell your
I
mother
think,
I said this.
and I think Christina, I believe, is still a Facebook. I think we have another Facebook user too, but I think Christina is saying that dream state is the easiest way to reach us. We take down our walls during sleep, so we're open. And I want to bring that point up because, so in our house, we protect our bedrooms, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Because we are most vulnerable when we are sleeping. I protect myself physically with my nightstand gun, and I also protect myself spiritually with things like shungite or jet, certain spiritual stones that can help protect against negative entities and things like that. Or you can even, and I know Stacy's talked about actually casting like protection wards and stuff for your whole house. But if you are kind of open to letting spirits in your house like we are, we're a little bit like that stagecoach, the spirits come rolling through every so often. But our bedrooms, we like to keep those sacred to us. So certain rooms we have protection stones and things to help protect us against those type of vulnerabilities. So, but go to her point, how vulnerable are we? Are we that vulnerable?
Yeah, extremely. Not to make it sound like it's a terrible thing. It's just when you're asleep, like I was saying before, spirits affect water, and you're 78% water. They can actually dehydrate you while you sleep, thus making you sick. You don't want that. So if you have a thing where spirits are regularly visiting you in your sleep, you should have a bowl of water with some bluing in it, which is, an old-timey detergent, but it's completely animals can drink the water and it doesn't hurt them or anything like that. It's completely safe.
Right.
But you have this bowl of water next to your bed or under your bed, and they take from that rather than from you. Thus, you don't get sick inadvertently. They're not there to hurt you. It's just they have to affect this world somehow, and water is the easiest for them.
And I think, and we're going to also cover a little later too. I want you to talk a little bit about what people can do to also cleanse themselves, things like that, which I know we've talked about before on the show, but we'll get into that too a little later. Real quick, I want to take a quick moment. Again, Paranormal Underground Magazine, guys, always sponsor our show. Guys, take a look. And also too, Don't forget Para Explorers. That's my show. It's an original show on Paraflix. Guys, you need to go check it out. I'll put up here to get Paraflix. Go to Paraflix. It's a streaming platform. Use promo code Para Explorers 10. I got it there on the screen for you. That's going to get you 10% off the first 3 months. Guys, it's my original show. We debuted the first episode last year. We just got done filming episodes 2 and 3, and I was surprised we got a couple amazing guest stars that popped in there. So I'm so excited. I can't wait to show you guys these episodes. It's going to take, we got to, there's a lot that goes into editing them and things like that. But hopefully the second episode is going to be debuting soon, very soon, along with shortly after that, episode 3. And we're already in the process of filming the next couple episodes, guys. We're constantly getting we're back in the paranormal quest. So if you guys know the show, you know that we're on that paranormal quest. The quest has resumed full time. So guys, I'm so excited. That's why I wanted to take a moment. So if you don't have Paraflix, it's paranormal all the time. It's nothing but paranormal. It's only like $3 or $4 a month or something like that. Go get it. Again, use that promo code ParaExplorers10, and then of course go watch that first episode of Para Explorers, and then you guys will know when we have episode 2. Trust me, you guys will know. I'll be announcing it. I'll be debuting it to all you guys. Like, hey, the episode 2's out. Go watch it. So anyways, can I ask Stacey quick? Yes, you can always ask questions. You can ask questions all the time, folks. This is an interactive show. We don't ever exclude anybody out from unless you're like a troll or something. But other than that, no. Anybody that asks questions, by all means, it says, "Can you hear my heat gun?" If so, I apologize. No, Terry Lynn, you're good. So she's was in the middle of resin. She's always doing resin now. So half the time, she spends most of her time in her new crafting room. We literally converted like our whole, what was supposed to be our extra like family room. That's got a kitchenette. It's like a whole apartment almost. It's all studio stuff now for her, tables and lights and crafting stuff and resin and all kinds of stuff. It's pretty cool. So, all right, let me get rid of the Para Explorers code there. But don't forget Para Explorers 10. There, over there in front of Stacy. Okay.
Right there.
All right. So once you have the question, just again pop it in there. What is your background in the para and metaphysical area? That's what Christine would like to know. What's your background in the para and metaphysical area?
I am a Palomayombe priest and a professional remote viewer. I have courses. If you want to learn remote viewing, I have courses on Udemy.com that I will teach you how to be a remote viewer from beginning to end. And if you want to learn about spiritualism, mediumistic ability, hoodoo and conjure, as well as some prepping. But my courses on there will show you exactly how to do all of that.
Yeah.
If you don't know what Palomayombe is, you can Google that to get a more detailed idea. But essentially, it is an Afro religion similar to voodoo, Santeria, and there's actually a plethora of different Latin American versions of that. But Palomayombe is from West Africa and the Congo, and it is the mother religion of voodoo and Santeria.
Yeah. And now Christina, actually, we have worked with her in the past, like Terry Lynn and I have. She is local to us in this area. We've worked with her, and she was on a ghost hunting team. I'm not sure if she still is or not, but I know she was working with things and working on her medium skills and things like that. She was working on all that. So she's got some abilities. Yeah, says I'm a green witch for over 45 years. So you see, so yeah. So again, that's what I like about the community is, once you get involved with all that stuff, you just meet so many different people, and it's just really cool. Like I said, and we've had opportunity to work with Christina in the past, and it's been a while, but we've all been kind of busy with our own projects and stuff here in this last year. But that's why I was glad to see Christina pop in the chat. You know, and that's why Terry Lynn was like, "Hey." So,
Yeah, more the merrier. You know, the pagans must stick together, kind of thing.
right. So, but in any case, all right. So yeah, but that's what I say. I wasn't sure, so I'm not sure what you've been up to, Christina. But you know, we are doing a lot of investigations here lately and filming, so you might have to come out and film with us soon. So, all right, let's see what else. Oh, so I do want to get into as well. Okay, sorry, I was just checking on something. All right. Now, as far as ghosts, getting back onto there.
Now, do you want to go into the idea of, you know, for offense or defense on that kind of thing?
Well, we'll get into some of that when we start getting into like what you can do, like to cleanse yourself and defense things like that. Because again, I did kind of cover a little bit of protect yourself, but we definitely want to get to some of the ward stuff that we talked about. But I still want to really dive into like how they can affect you in different ways.
Mm-hmm.
So as long as my guide dog is welcome, absolutely. So whether it's your guide dog, spirit guides, any guide, doesn't matter. All right. But seriously, I wanted to tell you guys too, like we are talking about dreams, infiltrating your dreams and things. I also want to talk about a little bit too. I would like Stacy to maybe get into how they can maybe affect your mind. You know, I always talk about one thing I've always talked about is, you know, when we see apparitions that they psychomanifest, that they use because a lot of them use energies to manipulate things, move objects, or to form matter, things like that. So we have energy as well, and of course, a lot of times it could be safeguarded. But spirits can psychomanifest, right? They can show themselves, and that's why we can't always pick it up on camera. We can sometimes see something, and we're like, "Hey." You know, I swear I see this. It's not coming on camera, but it's really they are forming themselves really to where we see them in our mind. And sometimes that's why even our colleagues don't always see what we're seeing. So, Stacey, you want to elaborate a little bit on that?
Yeah, well, there's a lot of different levels on that as well. From a scientific standpoint, your eyes refresh at a particular rate that is different from the refresh rate of a camera, and that's an actual frequency. That's a vibration in of itself. If you're harmonizing, if your eyes are harmonizing at a particular refresh rate, you can actually see things that others, or especially cameras, cannot. A still camera might be able to catch it in between the pulse, but your eyes, you know, will catch things that is out of the corner of your eye is actually at a different refresh rate than the front of your eye. So that's seeing shadows move sideways while you're looking this way, and you know do that. It's because that is an actual different refresh rate. It's not psychosomatic that it's happening that way. It is literally the difference in your eye being able to see it and your brain being able to recognize that movement, because that's what you are biologically programmed to see is movement and shiny things. That's it, and that's literally from caveman days, from seeing eyes from the bushes. You know, you've been able to recognize that as a survival technique that is hardwired into us, but it's still at a particular refresh rate.
Right.
The psychosomatic side of things is what they call matrixing, where they can get you because you are familiar with a particular thing, like someone's face that you know personally, that nobody else knows. They can actually get things like grains of wood to matrix onto that pattern because it's something that you're familiar with. They are actually reminding you and projecting it onto your eye. That kind of a thing is also very common. It's where you literally see faces in the wood. It's smiling at you or staring at you and doing things like that.
That's like an acid trip. I mean, from what I'm told.
Yeah, well, that's what they call matrixing, and you can see it literally on blackness too. You're seeing faces in a light mist or a shadow that is completely black, but your eye is matrixing that onto a different canvas, essentially. That is happening in the brain.
Right. So we know that they can, get to us or at least communicate with us through sleep. And so let's talk also, since I just mentioned sleep, but what about sleep paralysis? This is a big one that I get a lot of people that come to me and they're like, I don't know how many to tell you. I want to say like maybe 3 out of every 10, maybe 30% of the people, like a third of the people I talk to, it just seems like once they find out I do paranormal, they always ask me that question. They always be like, what about sleep paralysis? And then as soon as they bring that up, I always say, do you see a dark figure maybe hovering over you while you're frozen in bed? Does it feel oppression on your chest? And they're like, yes, yes, and yes. You know what I mean? Like, it's always that same kind of thing, is that dark figure that seems to be over them, and they seem to have that, again, chest compressions, like, or that weight on their chest. They have trouble breathing. Of course, they're paralyzed. They can't move. Let's talk a little bit about that. What do you know about that, Stacy?
Well, prior to the technical term of sleep paralysis, they called it riding the witch, because people would have that and they would describe something, a demon or a witch, lying on their chest, bearing down at them. And it was considered to be like an incubus or a succubus was holding them down while they were essentially being raped in their sleep. Sleep paralysis, psychologically speaking, is because when you're actually in a REM sleep, your brain will shut down all of your muscles in a paralysis. That is just part of it. While you're in REM, if you wake up while you're in REM, your body, it takes a little bit for your body to reboot, and you're completely awake. You're completely aware of what's going on, probably because you had a nightmare. You're completely shocked awake. You heard something. You were shocked awake, and your body didn't have time to actually go through the cycle of reanimating your muscles. A trick, by the way, is to swallow, because you've also developed the ability through evolution that if you are in sleep paralysis and you start to get acid reflux, that your body will let itself get up so you don't choke on your own vomit in your sleep. If you swallow, your body will instantly come back to life. You won't have any more paralysis. If you're seeing spirits while you're in that state, you can do all kinds of different things. But what I like to do is just tell them to get the fuck off. Nothing really, angry or anything like that. You look at him, you're like, get the fuck off. And then, it goes away.
Right. And I think that's something too I want to get into when we talk about what people can do, like empowering and stuff too, like empowering themselves to take control. And like I said, we'll cover that too as well. All right, so we know that there's communication. You talked a little bit about sleep paralysis, and of course, spirits taking maybe advantage of that situation and things like that. And also, then we talked about when you're conscious and how they can, use your mind and things like that. So, of course, there's the traditional haunting type stuff where they can move objects. They can, again, close doors, open windows, knock, again, cause noises. These are some of your traditional things to try to get your attention as well. Is there anything else that you can think of that spirits can affect how you are or communicate?
Yeah, a spirit will. Spirits can affect us on a psychological level on a lot of different ways. you know, like the show mom or the sports dad
Right.
who's all into fulfilling their life dreams through their child, and you know they're very intense over getting their child to perform and all that kind of thing. You probably see a lot of that sitting watching in the benches of tennis matches. uh, Spirits will do that too. If a negative spirit kind of has a sees a little bit of themselves in you, they may want to relive or redo things in their life from their life through you. Meaning that if they, you know, had a relationship with a particular woman, you may suddenly be drawn to this particular woman in a very obsessive way. And you don't really know why yourself. You're just everything about this person. You can't stop thinking about her. You can't stop dreaming. You can't stop. Everything in your life revolves around this person who you don't really know, but for some reason you're becoming really obsessive over this. Spirits can do that to us through what is literally called obsession. And they can get us to do things from drug use, um, smoking cigarettes, cigars, uh, drinking, being obsessed over a particular individual, things that you are just driven to do and you don't really want to, and you don't really know why you're doing it. You can have an obsessive spirit that's on your back, pushing you in that way, emotionally and mentally. Getting rid of those is actually the most common, you know, problem that people have, and they just don't even realize it, and they're just stuck with it.
So Stacy, I'm happily married. So,
I was thinking about you when I said that, just as an example.
So there's okay. So another thing that I wanted to really also touch on, and this I've seen this happen in some family households that have hauntings, is it seems as if sometimes the spirits, and usually it's like this is when you do start getting this, so you're negative. I don't want to get too much into like demonology in that sense, but we're talking about like just your good old asshole spirits, right?
Mhm.
And I've seen like where families argue, fight. They tend to start, you know, making people's tempers either short fused. Maybe people start getting irritated by certain things. Maybe they make spirits make people do certain things, like start tapping their foot all of a sudden when maybe they weren't a foot tapper. You know, doing their nails on the table or something over and over, and then the other person's like irritated and, you know, I'm gonna stab you. I don't know. You get some pretty you know, extreme situations, but it's something I want people to be aware of, because these things exist, and these families, when you go to some of these investigations of these families, you see a lot of times these families they're fighting. The husband and wife are on the verge of a divorce. I mean, it can be bad sometimes, and then when they get away from that situation, or sometimes when a house is finally cleansed, amazingly the people start getting along, and it's like negativity's been lifted. So
Yeah, well, and you have the level of spirit that are just an asshole watching all of this as a form of entertainment, that they can actually feed off of that negative energy. But you also have asshole spirits that use that as a stepping stone so that they can actually accomplish something more sinister. Because if you're already on edge all the time and you're angry all the time, and you everything this person does makes you feel a level of contempt, that is just one step away from murder suicide kind of stuff. And there are spirits out there that aren't really demonic, that just want to push you to that point because they're vampires for all intents and purposes. They want that blood, and getting you to do that, getting you to that point, takes a lot of work on their part, but you know, it's it's worth it to them, because all they have is time.
right. Yeah, exactly. And now, so I think we could probably start getting into some different solutions for people on different situations or in general. So one thing I want to offer out there is that for those of you that might be watching this again, whether it's live or on replay, uh, there's a lot of times when maybe you're in that situation and you have a family, things are negative and you feel like it may be because of the house, maybe times were different, maybe you moved into this house, you feel like it's haunted, you feel like it's affecting your family, things like that. I would say reach out and try to get some help for real though. Don't think that it's just going to go away. There's a lot of things you probably don't want to do. You're probably not going to necessarily just fix that yourself, or else you probably would have by now. So you're going to want to reach out, get some help. If you are, and this is important because a lot of times, again, when people watch these shows, they're afraid of either repercussions from neighbors, friends, family, whatever. Look, there's some discreet avenues, especially if you're a Christian. Christians have a hard time because they sometimes they go to church, they believe in God and Jesus Christ, they're always told to pray. The way that it's handled in the church, a lot of times, not always, but it's not really helping them the way they need help. So if you find that you can't get that help or can't get those answers, don't necessarily give up on your religion, but seek out. There's always discrete avenues. You can message even myself. I've got other people that can help that are part of the church. And also there's ways that even just non-denominational ways, so to speak, of doing things as well. So I just wanted to send that message out to the Christian community that watch this. But Stacy, I want you to talk a little bit about some things that people can do to safeguard themselves on a daily basis.
Well, there's a lot you can do to safeguard yourself, and the go-to that most people do because they've seen it on television is to burn some white sage to cleanse their home. That is the last thing you want to do when you want to cleanse your home. That is white sage is not a cleanser, it's an attractor. Brown sage, which smells like complete ass, is a cleanser. That's what gets the stuff out the door, out the walls and everything. White sage attracts spirits to you. Now, if you've got a lot of good light-bearing spirits around you at all times, that they love that because that brings them to you. The problem is if you've got a dark spirit or a negative spirit in your home you're trying to get rid of, it's like a cockroach. As soon as the light spirits come in, it goes and scurries into the corners and hides for a while until the other spirits leave, and then it comes out of the woodwork. You got to get rid of it all first before you bring in the light spirits. So
Right.
Do not do the white sage as I'm going to cleanse my house kind of thing until you've cleansed it with the brown sage first, or camphor. Camphor works great. It's awesome. On that, things that you can do to protect your home is you remember the TV show Supernatural where the Winstons or the Winchesters were always going for the salt and the iron to block and get rid of spirits? Believe it or not, that actually works. Using salt is a neutral element. You can pray or cast a spell into salt and throw it, and it acts like holy water because it holds that energy in it, and like basically miniature quartz crystals.
Right.
Same geometric shape of 45 degrees, and especially if you use like sea salt instead of table salt.
Right.
You use sea salt, you pray into it, protect this home from evil spirits, and you throw it at the doorway and your mantle. It will act like 1,000 quartz crystals, protecting your house from that kind of thing, and you charmed it. Iron does the same thing. They really hate iron. Horseshoes above the doorway, horseshoes on the door itself on the outside. Awesome. It works great. Taking iron spikes from a railroad and putting it on the four corners of your property, doing the same thing, enchanting them, burying them in the four corners of the property. sets an entire barrier over the entire property that only the good spirits can get through. So there's a lot that can be done on that level.
And that's all good to know too, because I know like with salt, you see when they make the salt circles, they'll use them for protection, but then I've also seen them used in many different ways. So that all makes sense to me.
People with it too. I've seen people in New Orleans. They say a curse. They take a little pack of salt from McDonald's. They put it in their hands and they curse into the salt and they throw it at people. And it works the same way as casting a spell or whatever. You throw it at them. I've seen people throw chicken feet at other people too, but it's goofy to watch, but it works. Yeah,
that's why I can't live down in like New Orleans area, man. It'd be like the gunslinger days, but like instead of guns being slung, it's like curses being slung every day or something.
If you're not paying attention to what's going on, it just looks like somebody's crazy. But that they've got this whole community down here of hoodoo, voodoo, and witchcraft that they've got these witch wars going on all the time, and it's just it's funny to watch from my perspective. Anyway.
Christina said, but that's a whole nother show, right?
Yeah.
Another whole show. Yeah, pretty much. But yes, so people can protect themselves in that sense. Now, for me, one thing too, you guys see, I usually have my crystal. This is something that I've cleansed and programmed to give myself protection, but it has a clause, and I allow it for communication. The first time I ever programmed this, I forgot to put that clause in there for communication. So it was protecting me from all spirits. So I wasn't getting any paranormal activity during like one of my investigations. I was like, what the hell? Like, it's nothing going on. And then I realized, like, oh crap, I forgot. So I had to re-cleanse it, and I reprogrammed it for protection from attachments like evil invasion, but allow for spirit communication. So, and then I was successful after that.
See, that's key to it right there. If you are in a new home that you think might have some spirits in it, and you're calling on your own protective guides to help protect you, they are the ones that will do the heavy lifting. And you light a little tea candle with a little glass of water, and you say, in the name of my protecting guide and the spirits of the dead, help protect and cleanse this home. You've got essentially bouncers, huge bouncers on your side that can actually do the heavy lifting.
Right.
You don't have to start reading a book of exorcism in order for it to happen.
Right. And I wanted to clarify that too with people too. Is like, you don't have to wear something. Like, you don't have to necessarily wear things. Some people will wear like bracelets that they have programmed and things. But you don't have to. Like Stacy's saying, you can use your guides. You can, if you're a Christian, you can call upon Jesus Christ. I mean, there's many ways to get protection in situations, because I don't always wear this 24/7. When I'm not really allowed to wear this at work because of my job, and it could catch on things. I really can't wear much jewelry with my job, so I really can't have this one. So when I'm in situations and I'm at work and I go into homes that I, using my intuition, know that something's not right, I have to have protection, and I will go to my guide or Jesus or something. So that's why
I'm the same way. I have necklaces that I wear that are for protection solely, and I don't ever wear them unless I'm in a position to where might be in danger.
Yeah, you'll see me wear this on investigations. Like when I'm on camera, you're going to see that. You're going to see, and usually you'll see my bracelets now, things like that. I've got a slew of things. But I made these, by the way. I made all those. Well, except for this one. That's my son-in-law. But these three. The evil eye, I actually added to that. But I made all these red turquoise and stuff like that. But I wanted a part of an Indian culture as well. But I like the red turquoise instead of the blue. But anyways. Christina says that she calls on Archangel Michael and the Divine. And again, that's what I'm saying. You know, you can use the like the Watcher angels, Michael, Gabriel. You know, Ariel. It doesn't matter. You can call on just about any of the divine, your guardian angels. If you ask for it, you shall receive. Usually, okay. So, and that's the thing. It's empowering yourself. So, I wanted to also segue into that is empowering yourself. Many people they feel like the paranormal is constantly like it's causing them to be in fear. They get angry and they yell at the spirits like, quit, leave me alone, this and that. But so I guess the biggest thing is how can people empower themselves, without, because like, what's the difference between somebody saying, get out of my house or get out of my house, I'm tired of you. What's the difference in that?
Well, a lot of it is intent, but, having the authority, which is basically your faith. Your faith has to be there in order to give it authority, because it's something from outside of you. If you have really no idea what you're doing, understand that the book of Psalms in the Bible is essentially a spell book. It's written in such a way to where if you want to do something with a particular spirit, or even what they call impregatory psalms, which is in the higher number, like 191, 194, where this, let his children be fatherless, let his, wife be a widow. These are curses in the book of Psalms in the Bible. It is a spell book that can be used in order to give you the authority through faith that you need in order to affect these spirits.
Yeah, and that's all good advice. I would say too. Oh, tell them about the. So talk about like Florida water, things like that, because I know sometimes. There you go.
Florida water. This is an overexposed on the light, but it is essentially rose water oil, alcohol, and cinnamon. That is all. It's very sweet smelling, and what it does is it acts as a cleanse to your aura. Now, what we were talking about before was spirits who are on your back and becoming obsessive. They have to communicate to you through one of two ways. One is through the forehead in your third eye here, or in the backside of your third eye. You're like a lighthouse going forward and back. Most of the time, they will attach themselves. Literally, it looks like a straw of spirit stuff going into the back of your head, and they're standing behind you and completely, affecting you and through headaches, through depression, through obsessive behavior, all kinds of negative things that you have no idea why you're feeling the way you're feeling is coming in through the back. You also, just by nature of walking around in the world, your aura looks like an egg that surrounds you, acts like a lint brush to every other person in the world. You come close to them, they rub up against something, you rub up against something, like a virus. It gets stuck to you, and after a while, you get really kind of airheady, lighthead. Can't really focus on anything, not very well grounded. It's because all of that gunk that you've been walking around the world with is still stuck to you. Flower water allows you to cleanse yourself of that crap so you can actually be grounded, think straight, and actually focus on what it is that you need to do in life. It's part of what I call spiritual hygiene.
Right.
It's one of these things where you don't just do it when you're feeling like crap. You do it on a regular basis so you don't feel like crap.
Well, that's what Terry Lynn was saying. She said that she uses hers every night.
Yeah.
And that's true. And I know Christine, she just said that she makes her own. But if you don't want to make your own, you can get it on Amazon. And the one that Stacy's got, we got that. type as well, and it's really nice. But yeah, so that's definitely a good tip, and I think like using that, and then again, if you're having spirits in your house, having the water by the bed or under the bed, like Stacey said, those are some really crucial things. There's also some baths. There's a lot of other things that we really could get into, but I would say like past the initial stuff you've heard in this video tonight, if you're having more problems beyond that, then reach out and contact us for sure. Because if you're just past like a certain point, and sometimes too, like sometimes when you're in the woods, it's hard to see the way out.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas sometimes when we're above or outside the woods, we can guide you out. Sometimes a lot easier when we can kind of see you, or if like we're like in that drone type thing, we're like, we see you in the woods, you got to come this way. But when you're in the thick of it, it's hard. It really is hard, especially when you're being, haunted. It really is. Sometimes it's hard to say, well, it's easier said than done kind of thing, where it's easier to say to take charge and to take charge of your house and to do these things. But a lot of times that's why we say reach out, because we can help you and to where you can stop, take a breath, and we can say, okay, let's figure this out and follow these steps. Calm down.
A lot of times when you're in it, anybody who's worn glasses for most of their life knows that you just wear your glasses, and over time, schmutz gets all over the lenses. And it starts to get harder and harder to see, but you don't really notice that it's getting harder and harder to see. There's schmutz there. You just don't want to deal with it. And then after a while, you clean your glasses, you put them back on. You're like, oh my God, I can see now. Wow, that is so weird. Even though that, that's what it happens all the time, but you're still shocked when you clean the glasses and put it back on because, you can now see again. That's what the cleansing and all of that stuff does. You don't really realize that you're all covered in gunk, energy-wise, until you cleanse yourself and you're like, oh my God, I can see and everything is more clear now. That's really what it's like. Spiritual hygiene is just as important as brushing your teeth and changing your underwear for the same reasons, really.
Yeah. And again, and these were things I didn't always know up until this last year or so, especially meeting with Stacey. Like Stacey's been like my spiritual doctor in that sense, even for me and Terry Lynn. Like we've been involved in the paranormal for so long, but we didn't always know how to interact with things in the spiritual realm other than just the traditional ways that we've learned over the years and all the other just the normal stuff, So when you're involved and you really start getting into that side of things, you definitely want to make sure that you find out and educate yourself on these things, and don't just pull up like some internet videos and be like, oh hey, don't even take our word for it. Do some research and then come back and ask or talk to us. Say, hey, what about this or what about this? You want to find people that will talk to you and be very honest with you, and versus maybe some kind of self. That's the other thing I wanted to bring up is that sometimes you go out to some of these people, they want to sell you on solutions that benefit themselves.
Yeah.
So they're really only there to benefit themselves. Whereas pretty much our show and things like that, we just do it for ourselves. It's all for free, really. We're not really making anything off the show or this show here. We're just trying to help people. So this is the type of advice you want to try to seek is from people like us. But go out there and again, ask around. And if you're still not sure, ask again. Trust me, you'll be surprised.
And if they turn around and say you're cursed and it takes $10,000 to remove the curse, run as fast as you can because you are about ready to be scammed. There's no curse out there that costs $10,000 to be removed. Just doesn't exist. So.
Yeah. And I know like we had fun the one night when we were going through remember when we were going through like Etsy?
Yeah.
And we were looking at people that were selling like stuff for like 50 grand and 30 grand and stuff like that. It's like,
yeah,
guys, don't fall for that. Like seriously.
We've got a cursed Dybbuk box for $50,000. Do you want it?
Right. Or what's the one where it's like, there was like for 33 grand or something, it's like you can be possessed by a demon, or what was it? You could have a demon summon for something like that. I don't know.
The gin is my favorite. When you get the gin in a ring or a pendant or something, it's like, that's not how this works. That's not how any of this works.
Right? It's like I'm gonna start selling ghost traps.
Yeah.
Like oh wait, hold on, I got it right here. This is what I got for you guys. Let's see. So I'll have two versions, right? I got this version where it's gonna have a window, and this is gonna come with a real ghost in here. And if you let it out, all right, you're gonna be cursed, right? Yeah. But this is if your home isn't haunted, guys, buy this. This has got a ghost that will haunt your house. I'm only asking $250 for it. Okay. I'll even put the picture of the ghost. It won't say woodpile. Okay. It'll be a picture of the ghost. And it'll be in here for $250. And I'll ship it to you. You know what? Free shipping. Free shipping.
If it's not a succubus, I don't want it.
And if you want to haunt your house, all you got to do is open it up at your house. Now, right now, I don't have the ghost in here yet, but I will put a ghost in here for you. I will send it to your house. You can open it up, and you can haunt your own house with that ghost. $250. That's it. All right.
That's a bargain.
Don't mind the $3 on the bottom. That's just the box. Okay. And then this one here. This is a. What'd you say? You want to do a gin in this one?
A gin, be best, you know.
But. Yeah, I'll put a gin in here. This will be a new Divic box. We're gonna call this a Divic box.
Stop.
And we're gonna put a gin in here. Carolyn's like, stop.
Stop. Because anybody that's tuning in right now, you look like, I don't know.
Can you imagine if somebody pops in?
Infomercial for stupid. Stop.
Right? Can you imagine somebody actually messages like, "Hey, would you take $200 for that?"
Christina.
Would you take $200 if you put a gin in there?
Christina, you have my permission to yell at him.
Well, it's a comedy bit.
No, stop.
Anyways, so, but yeah, I mean that's what they're basically doing. They're scamming you. So, So if you want to be scammed, let me know, and I'll give you something high priced. And we'll say it's cursed or something. You know, we'll come up with something.
You have to specifically say you want to be scammed, or else, you know, legally you can't do it.
I mean, you know, or there was one that's like for $50,000. I think that they said they would be available, a spiritual guide available to them, like with tarot readings and stuff, anytime they want. So hey, pay me $50,000, I'll be there for you for the whole year, any a full calendar year. And I will give you tarot readings whenever you want.
I think somebody was getting around the licensing for life coach, because life coaches actually have to be registered and licensed and all that. So that's a way around it, I think, on a legal.
Really? Level. I thought consultation or consultant, wouldn't that be fall under consultation?
Yeah, but you have to have some kind of psychological training and degree. So,
I guess when it comes to, that type of, if it gets like any kind of brain decisions, then that falls under psychology. Yeah. But if you're just telling people on giving them advice on tarot, that's different, right?
So, yeah, like I said, it's a way, right? Because it's for entertainment purposes only,
right? So if your head needs entertaining, never mind. I don't know, psychologically, whatever. Anyways, right, guys. All right, so as we get to the back end of the show here, let's see. I'm trying to think if we missed anything. I mean, I really wanted to make sure. I knew this was going to be a good subject because I really want people. I know a lot of times we talk about signs of being haunted and things like that, but I really wanted people to understand that ghosts can affect your spirits, can affect you in many ways. And if you just call them ghosts, it's okay. We know what you mean. All right. Stacey's referring to like ghost as in like the shell of something that's not really, it's just like that residual kind of replay. But if you say ghost, we're talking like scary, spirits, whatever, all the things you guys think about, the layman's terms. But in any case, spirits can affect you in many ways. So we really wanted to educate you guys tonight. Again, thanks to Terry Lynn and Christina in the chat today. You guys have been extremely helpful. Again, you guys keep an eye out for our spirit boards. But we really wanted you guys to understand that there's so many different ways. And if sometimes, again, you may be getting headaches every day. You may be experiencing certain things, again, irritability, and you may not even fully realize you're haunted or that you got an attachment or something. So, again, these are things that could help you out. And
I never actually showed people on how to use the flower water.
right, well, that's what I was going to say. Is Stacy? If this is what I was saying, this is what I was actually leading back to, is that if you're not sure, again, you may want to do the Florida water. And start just kind of cleansing yourself and see what that does for you. Even if you just don't think that, you're like, I don't have any attachments. I've just been getting headaches because of whatever. Or I just been, I'm just maybe not getting enough sleep. Hey, try it. But Stacy, so tell me how exactly do they use the Florida water for cleansing?
Florida, I'm got like almost nothing left in this because I use it all the time. Let's do the hat hair. What you need to do is put a little bit in the palm of your hand, essentially, right here. Rub your hands together.
You didn't put it in my hand.
Okay. Slap it above your head, and it'll spray over you the top crown chakra. And then cleanse your aura. You don't actually have to touch yourself in order to do it. The stuff on your hand is actually like a magnet or a lint brush. You cleanse yourself, your chakra points, your back, your front, and you shake it off your hands like your hands got cobwebs on them. And just keep shaking that off. And believe it or not, you will actually start to get that chill down your spine like you've, just had a spiritual experience, because it's like ripping off a Band-Aid and suddenly being exposed to oxygen. It feels kind of tingly, because that's what you're doing, is getting rid of all that crap on your aura and you're throwing it away. Afterwards, you really start to, wake up of what's going on around you, because you can suddenly, see, feel, and sense things the way that you're supposed to. You're no longer, clouded with this stuff. And you can do that once a day. You can do that multiple times a day. But don't just wait around until you're feeling like crap to do it, because, for the same reason you don't brush your teeth once a month.
Right.
You need to kind of do it on a regular basis.
Well, and Bob popped in the chat. Bob, it's good to see you, buddy. He says, have I missed anything? No, you didn't miss anything. We don't do anything on the show, really. So you didn't miss anything. But no, if you can, Bob, go back and watch for sure. We talked about a lot of stuff. We talked about ghosts and how it affects you. But yeah, Terry Lynn said that she also rubs on her neck. She loves the scent. Yeah. So it is female approved for scent wise.
Yeah.
So
your throat chakra is on the back of your neck too. So if you're getting the back of your neck and you're doing all of your chakra points all the way down, and wiping it and clean, you will get that all body tingle, and it's really effective that way.
All right, so Terry wants me to show Bob my board. So I guess we can do one more viewing of the boards as we wrap up. So guys, bear with me. We'll view the boards. So remember, these aren't for sale just yet, but they will be once we decide what's what. All right. Or Terry Lynn's boards, not mine, whatever, you know what I mean. Anyways, I gave you enough credit at the beginning of the show. All right. So here's one of them right here.
Actually, let's do the green screen. There we go.
Now you just took yourself off completely.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that way people can see. Oh, and let me move this over here to my other monitor. That way there's not as much reflection. So here's that. So this is resin spirit board there. I'm going to set that over there. All right. And we'll go, this is the pink one. We started here. So this is a pink and white resin board here. Really beautiful. It's got crystal on it. It's got a crystal up top. There. I like this one. Very pink and purple and white. Very, very pretty. I really like this one. And of course, the planchette with the magnifier. So glides very nicely. I really like that one. It's a nice board. I like them all. All right. And here's another like amethyst, what Terry Lynn calls the amethyst style board. This one here, like in person, you can see some nice green, some green sparkles in there also. But it's got that nice purple. There's the gold lettering. She's got some real amethyst. And if you look, it's not just the amethyst here that's popping up out of the board or on top of the board, but there's actually some amethyst embedded in the board as well. Again, this is layered. So, and then you can see the planchette. It's got an amazing. Again, it's got the resin magnifying bubble. And of course, an amethyst encapsulated around with some gold leaf work in there. But again, the matching planchette. And here we go. And this is another one that I really liked. Very simplistic, but yet very pretty. Clear board with like the smoke. And I know that it's hard to see the smoke because of the pixelation, but there's a layer of smoke just froze in the board. It's really awesome. So very clear gold. To me, very classy. I really like this one. Also, I mean, I like them all. And here's the planchette that matches that. Again, clear with the smoke, and of course you can see the felt pads through there, unfortunately, but still very, very nice. Very nice. I really like that as well. And then a couple mini boards. Here you go. Little travel size or display size. A lot of people use this like on their coffee tables and stuff. So very multi-dimensional. All right. And then, of course, this one shows where there's a holographic crystal mounted on there or a resin crystal. And you can see the resin crystal has a holographic effect that gives it that multicolor reflection. And, of course, the resin kind of blue with smoke. And Terry Lynn says, yeah, the girl who hated Ouija board now makes them.
Why did you hate Ouija boards? What was wrong with the Ouija boards?
Well, it's hard to explain, but all in all, there was some bad back history on them, and so we just kind of avoided them. But some of that was our own ignorance back then of not fully knowing how to control everything and how to control ourselves. You know what I mean? So it's just one of those things. So we just kind of avoided them for the longest time. It was like, Ouija board's bad. Everything else is fine. Ouija board's bad, you know. But now especially in these last like really 3 years that we've grown spiritually, and again, we don't have that much pride. We can admit that, hey, you know, like it doesn't matter how long you've been doing this, you always learn. And in these last couple of years, we've really learned a lot more about how to control spirits, as far as, you know, keeping things at bay, how to utilize things as tools versus fearing them. And, you know, I guess it's like kind of like, it was almost like a gun, right? When people don't know how to use guns, they fear guns. And they're like, oh, guns are bad. Well, it's not really the gun. It's the people that use them. You know, it's the intent. So same thing with spirit boards. It's like the spirit board itself, it's not necessarily bad itself. It's you know, it's just who uses them and what they use them for and the intentions. You know what I mean? So if you use them to open up portals, and if you don't close out your sessions, if you use them a certain way, guess what? They're going to be bad. You know, they're going to lead to bad things. But if you control and, you know, you control your sessions, and you do all the things, you can keep a handle on stuff. So it's just through a lot of education again and then even Terry Lynn said, she had a very bad spirit that tormented her before, again, a long time ago. And that's kind of what I was getting at, is like Terry Lynn had in her life, she had a section, and again, I don't want to get into her own personal stories on that, but it sounds like you're slurring. I guess I'm just trying to talk around some stuff. So, but no, let me move this over. But I don't want to talk for Terry Lynn, but basically she had a session in her life. And then also when we were together and we started doing some spirit board stuff together, this is what I was talking about too. Again, we both were sort of jumping the shark, and we didn't really know how to do. We were getting involved in stuff before we really knew how to handle it. So, but now we've grown. We've come a long way.
Yeah, I mean, I've been doing this for 30 years, and I still learning a lot all the time. And some of it is specific to the religious side of stuff. Some of it is dealing with the dead. You always they've been dead longer than you've been alive, so they know things that you don't. So
right,
just the way things work.
So Bob says, Terry Lynn just got done with the final edits to my book with the publisher. That is why I was late getting here. Well, I mean, that's awesome news, Bob. I mean, seriously, we cannot wait to have your book released. You'll definitely have to let us know, and we need a copy, of course. So,
hey, the links you sent me just showed up.
Awesome. So that technical glitch from earlier.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's funny because, like, no matter what, I've sent you, every time we go to do a show, I've sent you the link for the show. No problems. You'll get it, pop in there. Tonight, nothing. Like I said it like 3 times, too.
On that note,
Terry, it's like, you getting high on my resin?
5 days from now, Mercury goes retrograde again. So that deals with communications and all kinds of things that are going on with, technical glitches, cars breaking down, all kinds of really annoying things in life usually happen when Mercury's retrograde, which starts on the 10th.
When I'm finally getting my rhythm going with filming and everything else, now I get to battle retrograde. So can't wait for that.
Expect the unexpected. Prepare to be disappointed. That's just what I, come to expect when Mercury goes retrograde. The last time it was retrograde, my freeze dryer went out. I had to send it in. I just got it back just in time for this Mercury retrograde. So, yay, me.
Well, Terry Lynn said I'm really sounding drunk. I don't know. Maybe, I'm drinking coffee. I don't know if that's affecting me or not. I mean, I did this McDonald's coffee that I made at home.
Irish coffee?
There's nothing in there.
Cinco de Mayo.
Yeah, it's Cinco de Mayo, and we did not have any Mexican today. We should, out of all the times that we normally, like if I make tacos or something, tonight would have been the night to make them, but we ended up having breakfast dinner.
I had tacos tonight.
I had bacon and eggs. Seriously, like bacon and eggs. Like we had a breakfast dinner. So I don't know. I was more worried about yesterday with May the 4th be with you. And I didn't even really do anything for that. I didn't celebrate. I didn't watch any Star Wars or nothing.
Yeah, I didn't either. I thought about it, and then I got distracted. So
still?
Oh my god!
What the fuck?
It's almost like I got you on slow.
Maybe you do. I don't know.
No,
but I thought I sound fine. Do I sound drunk still? Like, do I
sound drunk to me?
I'm trying not to be now. I don't know what's going on. Like, I need to sober up. I'm drinking coffee. What the hell? I don't know. Maybe her internet's slow or something, and it's slowing me down. Like when Bob used to get the demon voice. I don't know. It says we can't be friends anymore. What is that? What did I say wrong? Who said
no Star Wars on the 4th?
Oh, is that what it was? Or is it the no tacos on Cinco de Mayo? one of them. But no, I normally always do something. I mean, I have been. That's the funny thing is like almost every night lately, on during my second job, I've been watching some of the old Star Wars, the original stuff, and then the one night I don't is on May the 4th. So
It was Star Wars. You didn't watch any Star Wars.
But trust me, it's in my life almost every day for whatever reason. But no, I do watch. In fact, I'm excited because the Kenobi series is coming out soon, and it's like a 6-part special edition series. So they brought Ewan McGregor back to play the Obi-Wan Kenobi, and they also have brought back Hayden Christensen, who played Anakin up to the Darth Vader stuff. They actually brought him back to appear in this. So it's going to be really cool. I've seen some of the trailers. Really excited for it. Invite me to investigate, and all is forgiven. You will be. We will definitely have. I would love to have you, Christina. We would love to have you investigate, but mostly all of our investigations is for the Para Explorers show. So if you come to do an investigation, you're going to end up probably having to be on the show. You'll have to be in an episode of the show, unfortunately, right? So I haven't been doing any extra investigations, although I think I might do. I don't know, but we are filming episode 4 coming up, a little over a week, and then I think we're looking at 5. Episode 5 will be. It has to be before the end of May. I've got to stay on schedule, so 2 episodes each month, and so. Like I said, next Sunday will be episode 4 filming, and then we're looking at another one because Para X has been handing out assignments. That's all I can say. So, sound sober, look drunk, ha ha ha, you sound fine. I don't know. Terry Lynn keeps saying I sound drunk, so I don't know. But yes, what else? What else have we got going on? I'm at Parapsychon May 20 to 22. I'm not at any conventions. That's the problem. I was going to be in some conventions, and then the conventions went away because of stupid COVID. And then some of these other ones, I had talked to a few different. I was almost going to be in CreepyCon, but then they filled up at the last minute. They were talking about having me as a guest, but I'm not going to worry about so much about being in conventions or going to them so much this year. Once Para Explorers plays out, because supposedly, we are considered an original now. So I can't wait for you guys to see these coming up episodes. I'm just glad we got a couple filmed and completed, and I can't talk as to what happens to them. I can just tell you that some special guests showed up in them, and I can't wait for you guys to see. So it's going to be big. I'm happy for that. I'm excited. We had some really good stuff, and I'm just excited to see what the season brings for us. So this one invited us, Soul Sisters. Nice. I have seen the adult version called. Oh God. Oh God.
I'd hate to see the sword fight in that one.
Yeah, I don't even want to start going there. Like that's horrible. Oh.
It's like, dude, it's glowing. You need to see a doctor.
Look, this is an R-rated show. We don't want to go any deeper than. Actually, it's probably almost PG-13 because we usually only say the F word like once, and I think with PG-13 you're allowed to say the F word like once.
Yeah.
So I think you said it earlier, so I think that blew our rating, or that still keeps us PG. I don't think I said the A word, but I don't care. We just cuss whenever. It don't matter. It's not like we have any kind of real rating. But Star Wars, that's horrible, guys. It's horrible. Why did we talk? How did we go there? I don't even know how we went there. Wholesome family entertainment owned by Disney has nothing to do with, although Disney horribly ruined Star Wars, in my opinion.
Yeah, what parent is going to want to take their kid on the Peter Pan sexual ride? Just doesn't happen.
Yeah,
I mean, it's something you can't unsee. So
no. And so remember, folks, don't see Star Wars. Go see Star Wars, but don't. I seriously, I can't wait for Kenobi to come out. That's the biggest thing for me. Like, Mandalorian was good. I didn't get to fully finalize that, but I really did enjoy the Mandalorian up to a certain point, and then the Book of Boba. Again, I don't want to get into Star. Why am I getting into the full Star Wars covers now? See, now because I know what it is, because it's May the 4th guilt. That's what it is. May the 4th guilt. So like now I want to make up for it by talking about Star Wars, but I can't.
Although the trailer for Obi-Wan does look good. I saw it and I'm like, damn, I'm gonna have to get Disney Plus. I've been fighting it because it's Disney, but I really want to see that because it actually looks like a good story.
Yeah, who knows? They're bringing in the Inquisitors, and if the thing is that most people don't know about the Inquisitors because they haven't watched. There's a lot of people that just watch the movies. So if you just watch only the movies, then you don't know about certain things. Now, I'm not a complete Star Wars nerd in the sense that I don't do like the books. I don't do a lot of the expanded stuff. And Disney, of course, got rid of a lot of expanded universe. They now just call it Legends, and they started creating their own expanded universe, so to speak. Mm-hmm. But I will say that I did, back when we were watching The Mandalorian and we had Disney Plus, I will say that I watched the cartoons, the Star Wars, the Clone Wars, and the Star Wars Rebels. That was the two major. They had like two different Clone War type ones, but I'm talking about the major Clone War cartoon that had Ahsoka and everything, and then the Star Wars Rebels. And those cartoons were actually very well done. Like they were actually really well done. And some of the Clone War stuff was very good. I mean, some of it was pretty dark too. I was pretty surprised. I'm like, wow. Like when you think about some of the stuff that happened in some of those, like this was a kids cartoon. So but it's pretty cool. I like that. I like that they left it that way. And so, if anybody does get a chance to watch the Clone Wars, the cartoon series, and then the Star Wars Rebels series, both very well done. Yeah, there's always going to be some of your filler episodes and stuff, but all in all, very well done. A lot of good story arcs, and they did a really good job, especially like I said, the Inquisitor. So, for those of you, if you've seen the trailer for Kenobi and you see those dark-looking, pale-looking people with the hats and the not hats and the red lightsabers. Those are called Inquisitors, and they were part of Vader's kind of like team hunting down Jedi. That's what happened in between Revenge of the Sith, right, Episode 3, and of course the original Episode 4, as we know it. That in that time frame, as the Empire took over, Vader and his Inquisitors went around and was, hunting down the last remaining Jedi that survived the Purge, Order 66. If you guys remember for things. So that's what those Inquisitors are about. If we're talking Star Wars and you guys saw the Kenobi trailer and you were wondering what the heck. So it looks like the Inquisitors are either on the hunt for Kenobi or maybe they caught a whiff of his trail somehow. And of course, he's there on Tatooine to look over Luke. That's his mission. So I don't know if he has to lead them away and somehow he goes back, and somehow he's going to end up coming across Hayden Christensen again as Vader, and I can't wait for that to happen. I think that will be pretty awesome. That will be pretty awesome.
Another epic fight.
Bob says, you're going to be so famous soon, we will have to have a tie to be allowed in chat. I hope not. Bob, I don't want to be famous. I don't want to be famous. I want our show. I honestly, listen, guys, if you guys could help make season 1 of Pair Explorers a great show, that'll be awesome. It doesn't have to star me. Season 2 could be somebody else. All right. It doesn't have to be me. It could be another team. I just want to produce these things for you guys and hopefully just be in the director's chair in the future. That would be great. I don't have to be an actor or forefront or any of that stuff. I don't have that desire to be famous. I'm not like that. I'm down to earth, and I always want to be that way. So Bob says, one of my goals is to enjoy the look on your face after I post something you can't really decide to ignore it or not. See, that's what I'm saying. For you, Bob, I don't really try to avoid it. I pretty much just have to go head on with whatever you say because everybody else sees it and they're going to want to talk about it anyways. So you ought to have a show where you talk like Yoda through the show. I don't know. I've always found Yoda's talk to be a little annoying at times because he doesn't ever really talk straight.
Yeah. Well, all you got to do is sound like Grover, the Muppet Grover, and read Shakespeare because that's
right.
Exactly what it sounds like. Backwards talking,
or not to be. That is the question. Yeah, I don't know, Bob. I don't know if I could do that. That would probably annoy people. They'd get like a minute in and be like, I'm out. I'm out. Closing this. Like that dude's weird. He's talking like Yoda through the show. Oh. All right. Well, I think we've pretty much wound down, guys. We've had an hour and 42 minutes. It's been a long show. Love that you guys have been really interactive tonight in chat. Of course, love you guys always. Any things you wanted to throw in? Any last minute advice that you have on ghosts or anything you got going on other than the link for Stacy's Udemy courses is always down in the description. Especially on the YouTube videos. So if you want to take those courses, you want to hone your skills, if you're a beginner or even if you're an expert, all those things, Stacy's got some great classes. Go check those out on Udemy.
If you got questions, you can, through the Udemy portal, you can, get a hold of me very easily. You just type in my name as you see it here into the Udemy, search, and I pop right up.
Terry Lynn says, "Oh my God, I did have you on slow." So how come you didn't say Stacy sounded drunk? I guess when you're on slow, you didn't sound drunk. So she's like, I don't know how that happened. Yeah, I don't either. That's weird. So what if I would have talked slow? What if I've been like, well, this is crazy. It would have been really messed up. Terry would be like, oh my God, stop. Because I was wondering, I'm like, because when she first said, I thought, okay, well, maybe I'm starting to, starting to slur a little something. But so I was like, well, let me start enunciating my words again and start talking. And then I'm like, and she still kept saying it. I'm like, what the heck? Well, that makes sense. So now we have a crazy little section on our show. Wow.
Have you ever watched a speech of Kamala Harris and do that? She really does sound drunk. We can't see what she's saying, and it's just like, go home, sleep it off. It's funny to watch, but
oh my God, she said she had it on 0.75. I didn't even know you could do that for a live show. I guess you could. I mean, I didn't even really think about it, but I guess as it's filtering, so she's probably really far behind us.
After 2 hours, she's like 10 minutes behind us.
Right. Oh, all right. So, guys, again, thank you all so much for showing up. Nancy P is drunk, right? But thank you all so much for showing up, guys. We love you in the chat. Remember, Terry Lynn's working on some amazing products to sell you guys. She really does. It's a labor of love, though. I mean, she really is putting a lot of effort, thought, crystals, and talent. You know, she's really putting a lot into these boards for people because she knows a lot of times this becomes people's focal point on something, and they want to use these boards for either communication or for decorative purposes. So she really is putting her heart and soul into the work, as you can tell. So keep an eye out for that. We're really close. You guys saw we just debuted like 4 or 5 different boards, and we have more on the way, mini boards, circular boards, all kinds of stuff. So we're getting ready to start actually filming and plugging everything into the store soon. We'll give you guys all the links for all that coming up. You can't sound like Jar Jar or NAACP will get you. Oh, oh boy. Misa love you so much. I can imitate a lot of them. I love Star Wars. I used to imitate it. My grandma always said, like, when I was a only child and I was raised by my grandparents, so she would often tell people that when she could hear me playing in my bedroom, playing with my action figures, she said that she swore that there was like 20 different people in my room because I would do all the different voices and sound effects and all that stuff. So, but in any case, but guys, again, we love you so much. It's been a long show. We could go all night, a long marathon, but unfortunately, I got to go help Terry Lynn with some more resin projects, I'm sure. So, but guys, remember, we'll see you next Thursday, and keep an eye out for everything we got coming up. And always, as always, remember, seek the truth.
Peace.